Hey everyone, hi. My name is Kanishk and I work at Fleek, and today I'm going to talk about how you can build lightning fast applications on Fleek. I'm here to talk to builders, I'm here to talk to engineers, I'm here to talk to founders today. For anybody who's ever deployed a site, anybody who's gone through the whole drill of making something beautiful, making something work, and then drowning down on the cloud section of the DevOps environment and drowning down on the cost of how expensive it is to deploy something, and then see the whole startup decline. We're sort of the saviors for that, and I'm here to talk a lot about how you can deploy and build amazing things on Fleek. To start off, I'm Kanishk. I'm an engineer and a community builder. To connect with me, you can go to this particular QR code. I'm just Kanishk Rana _ on all sorts of platforms. After this demo as well, if you have any questions, any confusions, or you just want to talk about Fleek, hey, I'm the guy for that. So do ping me for that, and let's move on. So today, we're going to discuss a bunch of things. First will be just a small introduction to Fleek, infrastructures, how do you make them scalable, what are the problems you will face, especially when you're hacking next weekend as well, right? Because I can see a bunch of hackers sitting in the back there, and I can see they're ready for ETH Bangkok to shoot off. So yeah, we're going to discuss a lot of amazing things, and I'm also going to discuss a few key things to handle your dependencies when you're building with 8 projects at one time. So let's get started. Your sites are great, right? We all know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I can see that we've done some great work. But there can be some issues, especially when it comes to poor site performance, right? You did not optimize for SEO. You did not optimize for speed. Or just in general, your servers did not scale because you did not get the pro plan, right? You did not spend right at the top. And of course, relying on the centralized providers means that there's a single point of failure for all the site traffic that you'll be dealing with. Even though you expand with auto-scaling on EC2, this can happen. It has happened to me. It has ruined my nights. It has ruined my days. And therefore, we have a decentralized solution to these problems that I will be discussing now. We've all used a lot of big cloud in the past, AWS, GCP, a lot of the cool ones in the block. Here are some problems. Well, I would say not some, but a lot of problems that I've seen people report themselves. This is not me saying anything. These are people, right? If you're seeking security, people are not happy. If you're seeking documentation, people are not happy. $104,000 bill. Do you know how many startups in Web3 that can fund? A lot. So therefore, when we saw these problems, we felt maybe there's a solution. And here it is, right? No matter how much you like or dislike AWS, the future's right there, the solution's right there, right? So for all these issues that you've been facing now, just go ahead and use Fleek. But Kanishk, wait a second. What is Fleek? Here it is. So Fleek is an on-chain cloud platform that provides support for all of the following. You've got hosting, storage, domains, addressing your content that is living on any content addressable platform. So that can be IPFS, Filecoin, Arweave, or any other ones that are popping up in the industry now. And of course, we have our own CDN, we have our own compute layer, which I'm going to be discussing very, very soon. In the past, a lot of people have known Fleek for IPFS hosting, right? You take a website, it lives on IPFS, you pull it from there, you deploy it. Simple. But we felt, how do we take it a step forward, right? And we kept devising on that solution till we got to something called Fleek Network. And I'll be discussing that whole architecture in just a second. But if you are interested and you want to check out the solution that we have, please scan this QR code if you're on your mobile phones. And if you're not on your mobile phones, I can see a lot of you have your laptops out. You can just go to dub.sh/onFleek. And when you do that, you'll be taken through a full guided instruction where you can go through the Fleek platform, you can make your own account, and you can get started. For people signing up, I'm standing right here, so I would love to support you all as in when you check out the platform. And if you have any questions, let me know. Moving forward, here is what Fleek essentially looks like. We are extremely modular and composable when it comes to data storages. So as I mentioned, you can use us on any content addressable cloud storages. You can even expand support to AWS S3 if you attach hashes to it. Now, stay with me. This is a big graph. I know some of you may get frightened when you look at it. I know I got frightened when I made it for the first time. So essentially, Fleek is origin agnostic. You can attach it to any data origin in the world, and it will start pulling data and performing any kind of compute on top of that data. Now, to perform that compute can be anything, right? It could be building a site, building a function, taking data from point A to point B, performing any kind of logical transactions on it. We just saw Secured Finance do a lot of things with money on chain, right? So you can do all of that here. And then finally delivering it to a client application living at the top. What are these client applications? Our laptops, our computers, right? Any device in the world that is in need for a website, that is requesting for a website, Fleek can handle it in a split second. So yeah, now I have covered very quickly how this all moves forward and how Fleek Network helps us provide all sorts of cool solutions that we just mentioned when I mentioned Fleek.xyz. But in case you saw this and your head went like all of these people right here, and now you're extremely confused on how things work, let me help you out and let us now deploy a function. For those people who are with me today and you have your laptops out, if you have Node.js in your laptops, this is going to be a very fun tutorial to follow. All you have to do is type this onto the terminal and you are set for success, right? So should I wait for a second while you guys are typing it out?
We are actually starting the dog fooding early.
Yes, sir, we are. So there we go. Here is my terminal. No, go ahead, yeah.
No, I can't see it.
You can't see it? Oh, there we go. So you need to open your terminals and just type out npm, which is Node Package Manager, installed globally Fleek platform/CLI. All these cool things that I mentioned just now can all be controlled through the CLI itself. So all you need to do is just type in one command and you're good to go. Now, since I was preparing for this particular talk and I have already gone through my drill of performing this particular installation, I will now lead you all through to how you can actually deploy a function written in JavaScript on Fleek, and that can be pulled in by any computer living anywhere in the world, right? So let's get started. The first thing we do here is make the function, of course. So I made the most simple thing in the world that we all learn when we start our coding journeys, which is just hello world, right? I actually edit it a little bit to say hello world and put like an exclamation mark here. So we can all see it's happening in real time. I hope the live demo gods are with me today, because this is going to be a fun one. Now moving forward, all we do is Fleek, which is how you address the CLI, right? You install it globally, so you can mention it anywhere into the platform or into your systems as well. So Fleek functions create. So what this essentially does is just creates a function in which you can store any piece of data. And when you call for this function, it will throw the data that you've stored. In our case, we are returning hello world. Please keep in mind that we just talked about compute over static files, right? Because you can deploy static websites. What is that doing? It's doing great, but let's move it a step forward. All we need to do now is compute this particular function. And as you can all see, it will return hello world. So now that we've created it, let's just give it a name. So create -- name. I'll call it hi fil, right? There we go. And now with a couple of seconds, my function has been created. All I need to do now is deploy this function. So Fleek functions deploy -- name. Who can tell me the name of this function? Come on, we just made it like a second ago. Let's see how many you are. Yeah, but I'll just point it out right here. Here's the function name. It's just hi fil, right? HIFIL, hi fill, right? And you can call it whatever. If you don't like hi fill, right? If you're like an optimism fan, you can call it hi optimism. If you're a Fleek fan, you should call it hi Fleek, which you should do, by the way. So now, moving forward, I'll just call my function again and just hi fill. And this time, I'll give it the path. So the path will tell the CLI where in your whole system is this particular file stored. As you can already tell, it is stored right here in the root directory of the folder I'm in. So I'll just call it index.js, right? Index.js. Enter. What happens now is we take your particular file, we put it on IPFS. And then Fleek nodes present around the world are going to pull that file from IPFS, run compute on top of it, and deliver it to any client application requesting it, which is essentially what happened right here. If you all see, here are two links using which you can access this particular function that we just wrote on the top. This link goes through our own CDN. This one is using which you can address the node directly. So in case we are debugging in the hackathon and you face any issues, I'm going to ask you for this particular link. But for now, let me quickly copy this, go back to a place where I can see a Chrome browser, press enter. And as soon as the file is fetched, you'll be able to see hello world written right here. Can you all see it? Give me a cheer if you can. Nice. So with this, now you might say, Kanish, that is great. You deployed one string on the internet. What good is that for, right? As a founder, you will definitely say that because you're challenging me. To you, I have something more fun to say, and I will say I'll deploy a complete Next.js application, full stack with server-side rendering on IPFS, which will still run dynamically. Now that is where the fun starts, right? Because up until now, we were known for IPFS hosting. But with this particular release of what I'm about to show you, we go a step beyond. We go to full stack hosting on Fleek, which is where your server environments and your front-end environments can all run in the same environment, which is how you deploy it on Vercel, how you deploy it on AWS. But this time, it's all on-chain, all verifiable, and all living on a data source that you trust. So Let's move forward this time. And as you can see, I've just taken up a very, very basic Next.js application. Nothing new here. Have you all ever messed around with Next.js before? I have. I live and die Next.js now. And I also hate it because JavaScript. But we're using TypeScript here, right? So cool thing. I think, as you can see, I did not touch anything in this piece of code. All I'm going to do this time is use a command which is called npmi-d Fleek platform/next. This is a specific toolkit that we've created which will take any Next.js apps that you have and deploy it on Fleek. We do a few mutations here and there to make your code run on the serverless environment, and we still ensure that it is performant and all the DevX is handled within 3 commands. So if you are with me till now, I highly, highly encourage you to go to your terminals once again. If your functions were deployed properly, that's great. To go to your terminals once again and just type this command really quickly. npmi-g at Fleek platform/next. So last time, if you remember, we did Fleek platform/CLI, which gives you the entire CLI control. And this time, we're going to do /next, which gives you Next.js control over everything that you're building. So with this, let us move forward now. Again, oh, you're typing? Great, thank you. You're taking notes, nice. So with this, now, again, I have the CLI installed. I ran the same command. The first step here is to just build your application, right? And that is where you will have a lot of issues, especially when you're hacking during Eat Bangkok, because to combine all these dependencies into one package is one of the biggest problems in the JavaScript ecosystem because everything is so varied and there are so many dependencies. Well, we wrap that all for you in one command, which is fleeknext.build. It will start running a bunch of things for you. It will start creating a production optimized build. It takes a few steps. It compiles successfully, checks for a bunch of things, creates all the files that you need, and build is complete. Now, the CLI itself tells you what to do next, but I'll tell you anyway. Now, you need to create a new function, which is where, like I defined before, the function when you create is where your code will live, is how you can address it later on. So all I'll do again is just, this time I'll call my function FIL. I already created it before, so we'll move on to the next step here. And there it is. I can show it to you probably like this. There we go. So this time the command is Fleek functions deploy, which is what we just did previously as well, right? We stopped the bundling because we just did Fleek bundle, and that is when we create the bundle ourselves. We don't need the CLI to do the bundling for us. We give it the name. Again, name is the same parameter we saw previously, where it was called hi-fill. This time it's just called FIL, which is fill. And then finally, the path. Now, this path is what the CLI will generate for you. As you can see, it is a new file added right here. It is a new folder added right here, not a file. It has a bunch of files inside it, but the most important one is this one. And once all of these steps are done, all you do is press enter. It will take its sweet time. It will put things online for you. It will again go to IPFS. It will do the whole drill. And once you're done with it, in the sweet, sweet support of time that we have, this is what you'll see eventually. And as you all know, this is what the basic Next.js boilerplate looks like. Once you go npx create next tab, this is what you see. And all of this lives on Fleek right here. Prehistoric flower hollow on fleek.app. And you can all check it and verify. It will be the same website for everybody. Are all of you with me till now? Anybody who's lost and hates Next.js now? I was when I was building this.
I confess I'm getting permissions errors running your code.
I'll be with you in a second.
Them and I will send them to you.
Absolutely, sir. So yeah, next up, if you're lazy like me, and you don't want to go through this whole drill, and you just want an app, right? I just want an app. I just want to go to production quicker. What do? Well, this time, you go to something called our templates. So Fleek has a beautiful templates page in which you have boilerplate support for all kinds of Next.js applications, Astro applications. Anything that lives on the web, we probably have it. We also have this blog maker Vitalik template. Fun fact here is that Vitalik uses Fleek for his blogs. And we thought that as a node and support to him, we would just quickly make a template. So if you want to copy one of the goats in the industry, here you go. We give you a shortcut for that. I will move forward and show you how we can deploy Nextra on Fleek. Do you guys know what Nextra is? Anybody who, you know what Nextra is? It's basically a documentation thing, right? So when you open a website's documentation and you think it sucks, it's probably not on Nextra. So what we usually do here is, all you need to do is just go to deploy a template. You'll be guided to a page that sort of looks like this. You need to connect your GitHub, whatever you do, the whole drill. And you will be guided to a page that looks like this. And as soon as you click on this particular link, Nextra opens in front of you. Now, please keep in mind, this is full stack Nextra on Next.js running on Fleek, which is an on-chain platform. So all these executions that you see in front of you are verified. And if you don't like Nextra, you just want to deploy some boilerplates, you have the same example that I just did a couple of minutes ago. And yeah, with that, we sort of come to the end here. Now I come back to my presentation, and I urge you all to join the Discord server, in which we have about 60,000 devs now. And we do a lot of fun activities here. We've got some really good product support here as well. So while you're building on Fleek, if you face any issues at all, just ping me. Just go at Kanishk, and I'll be on live. And we have some really cool people there like Gonza as well, who will help you in like the matter of 5 minutes when you text him. So far, do we have any questions? No. Anybody who's literally falling asleep? Yes, what's up? You're falling asleep? What's up? Absolutely, you can. You can do whatever you want with it. We actually have ENS support and DNS support. So you can even buy your domains using these things called 3DNS domains. Or you can buy it on Namecheap or whatever, and you can absolutely connect it here as well. So I hope to see you port your site very quickly, right? Let me know when you do. What's up?
You have support for Vue.js or Next.js?
We do. We do. I'm not sure if we have a template for that, but we do support it. And the fun fact is that Svelte.js also works out of the box with us, and we have an adapter for it.
Oh.
I'm still writing a bunch of things for it, so I'll share it with you soon. But thank you for asking. That's a great question.
Yeah. And another thing, you have support for GitLab?
No, unfortunately, that is something which is coming quite soon. But we have complete support for GitHub. And I hope you use GitHub. Are you on GitLab?
I use GitLab
Wow.
and GitHub both.
Nice.
So like most of, I contributed in GNOME Foundation. Most of their projects are on
That is
GitLab,
true.
and yeah.
That is true.
And
Is that
self-hosted.
Google Summer of Code? Is where you found it?
Yeah, I started
Nice.
from that, and I got into Free Software Foundation.
Lovely.
Yeah, GitHub.
That's
yeah.
great. That's great to hear. I see a fellow GSOC person right here. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, so again, just urging you guys to join the server right here. If you face any problems, hit us up here. And with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much, everybody, for your valuable time. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much.